God is love, and love is God. She is the embodiment of his love. He's made of love. He's made of devotion. He's made of bliss. He gives bliss. He creates everybody just to expand his bliss for relationship. And then he gives bliss to all those who he's created, who are now turning and being his beloved associates. And he tastes bliss. He is bliss. He tastes bliss in relation to his associates, and he gives bliss. And the cause of all this, the loving bliss, the cause of all this is Radha, his feminine power counterpart. She makes all that possible. If any of us are able to have any blissful devotion to Krishna, it's because of her. She is that power of bhakti, or love and devotion. So they are all in all in existence, but they manifest everything else. Their abode, their friends, their forests, to increase the happiness of their loving relationships. So everything, this forest is coming from them. There's peacock there, that's also coming from them. But they create everything, and then in turn, all those things, birds, friends, taste the bliss of giving their love back to these two who are all in all. So, just like here, in this world, there's cheating propensity between men and women. Like, I'm with the guy or a girl for a certain time, then I get tired of her, maybe she's getting a little wrinkly and stuff, and so I go on to a new one, and then a new one. So that is a perverted reflection of Krishna's pastimes. So there is no female besides Radharani. So she, in order that Krishna can have loving relationships with many beautiful damsels, she expands. All moods of love are in her. A very submissive mood, a very contrary mood, half and half, a very feisty mood, a very weeping mood. All the moods are in her. There are unlimited moods. So she expands to unlimited damsels. And Krishna dances with all these damsels who are just expansions of her. So in order to make the thing interesting, like if you have an ocean that doesn't have any waves, like here in Miami we have an Atlantic Ocean, and it's very interesting because it has waves. Can you imagine if it was just like a pool? It wouldn't be that interesting. So there have to be waves in the loving exchanges. Does all this make sense so far? So there has to be some tension, so there has to be some jealousy. So even though all the damsels expand from Radha, she has another potency, another female potency that comes from her. That's called Yoga Maya. And this Yoga Maya potency makes her forget that all the other damsels are from her, so that she could experience the ecstasy of jealousy. Now here in this world, if a girl is jealous or if a guy is jealous, that makes it even worse for him because he doesn't look good, he doesn't look as attractive, he's angry and like that. And so nobody wants to be with a jealous person anyway. But when Radharani becomes jealous, because that's the cause, that's the reality. Like, I'll give you an example. There's a tree reflected in a river. So it's a reflection, but it's in the muddy waters. So the fruit is a muddy water, the leaves are a muddy water, the flowers are muddy water. So similarly, everything there on the land of the tree is very beautiful, a fruit flower tree. So when Radharani, in that pristine reality, when she becomes jealous, that increases Krishna's happiness by millions of times. Because she is his pleasure potency, he has to fully surrender to his pleasure potency. It means he's surrendering to his pleasure. So he becomes millions of times happier. And then, so here, she was exhibiting a very submissive mood for a while. And that doesn't make Krishna as happy, playing hard to get. So usually she plays hard to get in like a left-wing, contrary mood. But for a while, because everything is in her, she was being a little too easy. So Krishna wanted to bring out her left-wing, contrary, more feisty, angry mood. So he was supposed to meet her last night. The no means not relatable or relatable?
No, it's too relatable. They're all like that anyway. I'm just kidding.
The guys, you mean. I know what you mean. So he wanted to bring out her left-wing contrary mood. So not only did he come late to meet her, he was supposed to meet her in the evening, he's coming at the end of the night when it's practically morning. But it's not real because he's just doing it to bring out that mood. Because when she's in that mood, their relationship is more ecstatic. It's already unlimitedly ecstatic, but the nature of that world is that there's no limit. Even though it's already unlimitedly ecstatic, at every moment the ecstasy increases unlimitedly. Can you imagine that? It's not imaginable. So, not only did he come late, but then, see, like Radha's chief rival is way over on the right, very submissive. But her chief rival is also her expansion, right? Because all the moods are from her. But she forgets that because if she remembered him, she knows that Krishna is God and I'm God's power. You can't have the closeness, the fun, the tension. So, not only did he come late, but then he said, "Oh my dear," her name is Chandrabali, her chief rival. So he said, "Oh my dear Chandra," and then he pretended to have made a mistake. You know how sometimes, that happens in the world too. And it's really embarrassing for everybody. So he said, "Oh my dear Chandra," and then he pretended, "Oh, I just caught myself in the act." And then Chandrabali means like a creeper, a moonlight creeper. And then, so he changed it in midstream and made it, "Oh my dear Chandra Anani," because Anani means face. And that means your face, oh Radha, your face is as beautiful as millions of moons. So then she said, "Okay, that's it." And you see she's going like that. And she's going like that. "Okay, just go back to Chandra. I don't want to have any more relationship with you." So then she has two main associates named Lalita and Vishaka. They're not in the picture right now, but they're there. They're off to the sides of the frames. And so they're telling her, "Look, why are you in such jealous anger?" Called man in Sanskrit. "He was just a moment late. And anyway, he can never think of anyone other than you, even when he's with them. He always thinks of you. So what to speak of when he's with you? He was just a moment late." She said, "Okay, he made a small mistake, but it was a mistake. So he has to apologize, and he has to paint my feet. And maybe you've seen in India, they paint the bottoms of their feet. So that's exactly what Krishna wanted. He wanted to bring out that. So here, he's saying, he's putting out his hand. Oh, and I didn't mention that my instructing guru, Srila Narayan Goswami Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, he posed for a lot of the parts of this painting. Like he posed for Radharani going like this, but you'll notice that it's a pretty translucent veil. So that means, even though she's going like this, and her face is turned away, her eyes can see through the veil, and she's watching Krishna, how he's surrendering and enjoying that. So what's happening here, now they both have tears in their eyes and slight smiles. So what's happening with both of them, I'll say another Sanskrit word. It's called Kila-kincita. Is Gaur here? Can you give the definition of Kila-kincita? Huh? He's out? All right. So that means it's a combination.
It's a mix of all kind of different emotions. Like crying, weeping, separation, meeting, happiness, stress. She's explaining.
Thank you. It's a combination of 7 contradictory emotions, like he said. Smiling, but not happy. And weeping, but in ecstasy. Playing hard to get, and flirting. All 7 different kinds of, like pride and humility, all these different contradictory emotions. So that's what's going on here, because you can see tears coming from her eyes, and that's because she's crying in her jealous anger. But she's also feeling ecstasy because Krishna's supplicating himself at her feet. And similarly, Krishna's crying out of shame and embarrassment and ecstasy to be with Radharani. So he's going like this with his hand. And so Srila Gurudev posed for Krishna's gesture. And what Krishna is saying there is, look, I'm fully surrendering to you. My peacock feather is at your feet. And I put my flute, my prized possession, at your feet. What more can I do to show you my sincerity? So this flute is Krishna's favorite possession, because with the flute, he calls all the married damsels, again, who are just expansions of Radharani. And all the married damsels, that when he plays his flute in the forest, they all leave their homes and go to dance with him in the night. But this is different than what happens here, because the same Yogamaya, who is Radharani's expansion, she creates duplicate damsels, they call gopis, duplicate gopis, who are apparently still at home with their husbands, so the husband never catches on. And the real ones, the original ones, go to meet with Krishna and dance with him. And then Krishna expands as billions of Krishnas to dance with each and every one of them. So he's saying, I'm putting my prized possession, my flute, at your feet. So there are actually, Srila Gurudev said, millions of pastimes that happen in this scene. Another one is, again, Krishna comes back late, and he's so absorbed in Radharani that, did you ever see these guys walking with their dogs, and they look exactly like their dog? Sometimes it's a bulldog, sometimes it's a poodle. Ladies too. Their outfits, sometimes their hairdos, their facial expressions and features. That's because of absorption. So similarly, when Krishna comes late, and he's so absorbed in Radharani's face that her eyeliner, it's called kajal, it's a kind of a healthy eyeliner, that comes on his cheek or his lips. Like he's so absorbed in her, he wants to just like swallow her and bring her inside of him. He can't get. Why can't they get close enough to each other? Because they're one, right? She's his power, his energy, his ecstatic potency. So outside they can never tolerate that. So they can never get close enough. They always want more and more. Whereas here in this material world, there's a law of satiation. Like I think they're making some kind of a cake or something that's like cake tonight. I saw some pieces with the slices. And so even if it's delicious, which I imagine it will be, then you take one and you take two and wow, forget it. I can't take any more. But in the spiritual world, there's no satiation. So we can get more and more and more. So, where was I? So Krishna's so absorbed in her that he's just mentally kissing her eyes. And then the mascara gets on his lips. And then, you don't see it now. It would have looked funny. I mean, it doesn't look funny in that realm, but if I tried to paint it, it would look funny. So, and then he's also absorbed in her lips. It's described that she has bimba fruit lips. And so her lipstick gets on his cheek. And so he gets all these signs. And like she's wearing these unguents, and the designs, so the unguents also get on him. So then she thinks that he's just been to another lover, and that's where he got all the signs from. So she starts like being sarcastic. I don't know if you've ever heard of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is the god of destruction, assisting with the creation, and he's kind of a bluish red color. So between her blackish blue mascara or kajal and her reddish lips, she's saying, "Oh, you look just like Lord Shiva." One of Lord Shiva's names is Nil Rohit Rudra. Nil means blue, so he's a combination of blue and red. Oh, you look just like Nil Rohit Rudra. And so then again, I don't want to have any relation with you. Just go back to your other lover. And then he's apologizing, promising I'll never do that again, even though he didn't even do anything in the first place. So what's happening? Also, I don't know if you can see, but there are 5 faces coming through the creepers. These are 2 right there, and then there's one on one side of Krishna, and one on the other side of Krishna, and then one way over there. If you see the parrot, right by the parrots. And so these young girls are looking in. Oh, I forgot to mention. So she says, okay, but he committed some offense, so he has to paint my feet. And that's exactly what he wanted, because she's the embodiment of the highest ecstatic love of Krishna. And so her feet, her lotus feet, carry that topmost, it's called Mahabhav, or the greatest, highest emotion of love. And so her feet are that. And so for Krishna to touch her feet means that he's touching the highest imaginable, unlimited ecstatic love. So he's thinking that because God is an absolute personality, he's non-different from his name, he's non-different from his form, non-different from his remembrance. So he's thinking that me and my name are the same. Like Basanti told me you were experiencing a very high energy here.
Yes.
Is that true? So, I forgot. Right, so that's because you were chanting Krishna's names. And so you could feel his presence by chanting his names. And she's also not different from her name. So when you chanted Hare, that means, oh, Radha, oh, energy of God. I'll tell you another meaning of Hare. It's very interesting. So he's thinking that me and my name are not different. So if I write my name at her feet, then I'll be there all the time. So he tried to write her name. They write with, like, I don't know if you've seen the Mehendi designs on girls. It's Indian design that they put on Indian ladies, Indian brides. So they paint with the Mehendi or with a reddish paste, fragrant paste called Ulta. So he starts to write his name, but as soon as he touches her feet, he loses control, because her feet is that embodiment of the highest ecstatic love. So his heart starts trembling. And when his heart starts trembling, his hands started trembling too. And so when he was writing his name, it didn't come out exactly like Krishna. I mean, it's not written in English, it's written in Sanskrit. But it didn't even come out like Sanskrit Krishna. It came out as a beautiful design. Because if God is trembling in the highest ecstatic love, and he's writing his own name, which is the highest imaginable existence, which is even more powerful than himself, and those two things are meeting, then what kind of an art will that be? So only those who are very close to Radha and Krishna, who do intimate service to them and intimately assist in their pastimes, only they are qualified to see Krishna's name there. Another person will see it as an art. So who is qualified? You can see the 5 faces. So they are looking, in, like, you know what a tree house is? A tree house. So it's really made of the natural substances of the tree. So that's like a reflection of what's called the kunjas. Kunjas are secluded groves, and they're made of a combination of trees and hanging, flowering creepers that are coming down in between the trees. And so they make houses out of those kunjas. And like sometimes you see that the creepers are wrapping themselves around the trees, and the creepers are very tight, and the flowers are very tight. But like a lattice design. So lattice design is a reflection of the natural creeper. So the maidservants of Radharani, who are the most intimate with Radha and Krishna, they're looking through the lattice flower vines to see inside. And one of the interesting things about these young damsels, they're about 12 and a half, and they are called manjaris. Because you know what a manjari is of a flower? Like there's the flower, and then there's the thing that sticks up, and it kind of shakes sometimes. So they're manjaris. They're not the flowers, but they are people. But they're called manjaris because the manjaris are part of the flower, but the bee can sit on the flower, but it can't sit on those stamen-like manjaris because they wave back and forth. So these manjaris, they're not interested in having any personal amorous relationship. their only thoughts is to unite Radha and Krishna and serve them in their love. Bringing them delicious foodstuffs. So in this case, Krishna wants to decorate Radharani, with all these beautiful unguents, designs, made out of natural minerals, like kumkum. You know what kumkum is? It's like a saffrony powder that comes from what? I don't know what it comes from.
It comes from like turmeric and some other.
Oh yeah, different
amounts of
natural
different
elements.
spices.
And also musk. Musk is black, and it comes from the navel of the deer, and it's completely aromatic. All these unguents are aromatic. It's like a black paste. So she has these designs, and he wants to decorate her with these designs, because a pastime is also, another pastime, is that they were together all throughout the night, and then they've awoken, and then she says to Krishna that you messed everything up during the night. So then if my friends come, my sakis come, they'll just make fun of me. So decorate me again and make everything as it was before. So Krishna now wants to decorate, because that's exactly what he wants to do. Serve Radha. That's why this painting is called Seva Kunj, the secluded grove where the highest Godhead is serving somebody who he considers more superior. He said that he himself thinks, and this is all, you see the row of books? Whatever I'm saying is from the ancient scriptures. So Krishna is thinking that I am the most beautiful, the most fragrant, the most attractive. Only one who's 1,000 times more beautiful, attractive, charming, sweet-smelling than me can attract me, and that is Radharani. Just like a wind makes leaves dance in the wind, so similarly, Krishna said that her love is so powerful that it's like a dancing master who's the wind, who makes all the leaves dance. So her love makes me dance uncontrollably many novel dances. He stands up when she says stand, he sits when she says sit, and she's not going to order him like Rover or something. But in other words, he's completely under her control, because he's under the control of her love. He's under the control, anybody is. Everybody wants to be with his love. Those love. This is love. It's true.
This is the spot to be with him.
What?
This is the spot to be with him.
This is what?
The spot to be.
Yes. Okay. So the girls, the young damsels, the manjaris, are looking in, and they are made of, like their bodies are made, like our bodies are flesh, blood, stool, urine, so on and so forth, bones, marrow. Their body is made by ecstatic service mood to Radha and Krishna, with an inclination towards Radha. So they're looking in to see when they're supposed to come in and when they're to do their service. But that's not the only reason that they're looking in. They're also looking in because whatever experience Radharani has on her body, whatever thrill her body gets in her loving dealings with Krishna, whatever symbols or signs come on her face, like if Krishna kisses her cheek, then she might get the red lipstick of Krishna on her cheek. So whatever physically or emotionally happens on her body and face and mood, the same thing happens to anyone who's nearby and looking. So if Krishna kisses Radha, then they think that Krishna kissed me. So they have no desire to have an amorous relationship with him separately. So now they're waiting for service. So when Krishna's saying, you can see what rapture they're in a little bit. They're so overwhelmed in rapture. So now they got the sign that it's time to come in. Krishna said, yes, I'm going to decorate you. So they come in with this big plates of kumkum and a guru scent. A guru comes from a wood. It's kind of like a liquid, but it's extracted from a wood, and it's also very, very fragrant. And you can see these are the same 4 maidens who are, well, there's 5 there, but 4 of them, I think. Well, some of them are the same, and one of them is different from who's here. And so you can see that they're carrying all kinds of fruits, and she's carrying unguents. Well, look who's there. Is that an angel from Vaikuntha? To ruin Krishna Prabhu ki jai. Now, doesn't he look like an angel from Vaikuntha? Okay, so particularly in this plate, she's carrying flowers for decoration, and also the musk and the kumkum and the aguru and other scents, other unguents. And so they came in with a tray for Krishna. And also you can see over there, I don't know if you know what pan is, but betel nuts. It's like a natural, intoxicating, what would you call it? Something to eat.
Yeah, it's like a breath freshener.
Breath freshener that's also elevates. And there's also more unguents in those 2 bowls there. One is that silver one and one is the gold one. For Krishna to decorate and give that betel nut to Radharani. And this peacock in the back, see, they're all very exalted personalities. So this peacock is one of the pets of Radharani, and his name is what's his name? Tundavika, not Tungavidya, but Tundavika. And the parrots are also fully conscious, rapturous entities. So here you can see that the parrots are having a discussion. So what the discussion is about, it's described in Govinda Lilamrita and Krishna Bhavanamrita, 2 very famous scriptures by our predecessor teachers, self-realized teachers. So they're having this little argument, loving argument, that the male bird, male parrot, his name is Sukha. He's a Sukha. Sukha means male parrot. And he's trying to explain to Sari, S-A-R-I is the female parrot, how Krishna is the greatest. And the female parrot is explaining how Radharani is the greatest, how she's superior. And so finally they come to an agreement that together they're the perfect absolute truth personified. And you can see also that the creepers are wrapping itself around the trees. And that's, Radharani is like a beautiful golden creeper. One of her names, she has thousands of names, and one of her names is Hemalata, means golden creeper, because her complexion is like molten gold. Molten gold is liquid gold. It's like a white, yellow, brilliant, like the sun. And also Hemangi. Hemangi means, Angi means limbs, and Hema means, again, gold. So, I forgot why I mentioned that. Yes, so she's like the golden creeper that's embracing Krishna. Krishna is dark, like a fresh rain cloud, and he's dark, like a dark tamal tree. So that's a tamal tree there. And so it's all about their amour. What else is happening there? So Radharani only wants to be covered by Krishna. Krishna is blue. So therefore, her bracelets are also blue and yellow. She's the yellow gold, and he's the blue. And their ornaments, everything is significant. So he has this ornament, this whitish ornament on his chest, but it's not like just white. It's as brilliant as the sun, and it also reflects all the rainbow colors. And that's called his Kostaba gem. And on her, between her neck and her chest, there's also the Shamantika jewel. The Samantika jewel, and there's a story about how she got the Samantika jewel. Does anybody remember?
The demon.
Yes, Krishna killed the demon, Sankachuta. The demon was trying to kidnap all the gopis. They're called, these damsels are called gopis, Radharani and her expansion. So he's trying to kidnap them. So Krishna killed him, and he had this jewel in his head. And Krishna took off the jewel, and he gave it to his brother, Balaram. Balaram gave it to Krishna's friend, Madhu Mangal, and Madhu Mangal gave it to Radharani. Krishna gave it to Balaram because he knew Balaram would know what to do with it. And Balaram gave it to Madhu Mangal because Balaram is Krishna's older brother. And the older brothers don't mix with the in the amorous pastimes. But Krishna has another friend named Madhu Mangal who mixes. He participates, not as a lover, but just as a friend on Krishna's side whenever there's any contest, he takes Krishna's side. So he gave the jewel to Radharani, and it became the centerpiece on her necklace. So the Kostaba jewel and the Shamantika jewel are very good friends. They dance together sometimes. So what else is happening here? So as I mentioned, she wears this red lahanga or skirt, signifying her unlimited attachment. It's called anurag. Anu means, it means a few things. It means, anu means like forever, one after another, continual. Anurag, and it also means ever fresh. Ever fresh rag, or ever fresh attachment, means that even though she sees Krishna practically all the time, every time she sees him, she thinks it's the first moment. And she'll think, who is that amazing looking personality? Is he a fresh rain cloud? Is he a sapphire mountain? So that way, even though their pastimes are forever or eternal, they never get tired of it, because every moment is a brand new experience. Not only is it a brand new experience, but every moment is newer than the previous. Here it gets older and older. Then it gets hackneyed and tiring. But there, it gets newer and newer. So every moment is more startling forever than the previous moment. And why did I mention that? Yes, because we're talking about her clothes. So the red dress, lahanga, stands for her anurag. And then her blue veil is because she only wants to wear Krishna, nothing else. So the blue is like Krishna.